Thank you, Mama. Thank you so that Dr. Peter Agada is Nigeria's foremost doctor of architectural acoustics, actually Africa's first. We have done what, ordinarily speaking, Africans don't get involved in. Okay? Starting from a very, very happy program. We have handled the acoustics for the largest auditoriums in the world. Of course, you know the churches in Nigeria are biggest. Yes. All right, so most of the largest auditoriums are in Nigeria. So the leading one is Dunamis of the Airport Road, which we just rounded up. We also handle several other ones. We handle the world's longest catwalk, ladder. Yes, the Port Harcourt Salvation Ministry. All of these things we've done with local knowledge, local capacities. No white man works with me. None. My daughter here is my chief project manager. She's seated here. I'm going to talk about that later. She's the mentor and she's a succession generation. Yeah. So all of the things we've been talking about here, we have tried to demonstrate it practically in the things that we've done. But I want to talk about grace to grace, okay? So we've seen the grace. The grace is that we've done these big things we are doing world over right now in that whole body of knowledge of architecture called acoustics. Wonderful. But let me go back now to the grass, okay? The grass is where we came from. And in a, I'm sorry to say, system failure or system malfunctioning country like Nigeria, for young people like the youth corpus that Nevon mentioned earlier, those in the universities, those in school, those in polytechnics, those just graduated, who are out there in society, in a society like ours, where you don't have venture capital, where you don't have, what's the other thing they do? Incubators. There are incubating businesses. There are people who sponsor new businesses. Where that is not prevalent, where you do not have such things, you live in a generation where you have to learn to do it yourself or die. I want to come from that angle.
Yeah.
Everything that has been said today is powerful. I'm not going to repeat anything the pastor said, our brothers said, but I'm going to come from this angle of you better learn to do it yourself or die. Our nation is reforming. Policy, development, planning, implementation is still going through reforms. Okay, we are still, because while we're becoming a nation, what we need to do to support and help society and people coming up are still very, very far away from you. So what has happened to me is that once I'll start from my school days. Dr. Fashion, my good friend here, says something. Now, in studying architecture in university, because of where I came from the background of a young boy born into a military family. My father was a warrant officer in the army. I remember going all the way to get my father's salary for him one time when he was posted out of Lagos. I saw his paycheck for the first time in 1985. It was 180 naira. I took a check of 180 naira from Ikeja Cantonment to Marina First Bank, if you know that bank, and I cashed it. And that was the first time I noticed my father's pay was 180 naira, and we ate from it. Before I got home, I had cash in my hand, no discipline, young boy. I ate like 20 naira out of it. I bought pop-off, bought mineral and all of that. So I found out that if I could spend 20 naira just eating puff, coke and all of that, out of 180, what would the 160 do for this man? I mean, my gen, whatever tongue that I had then, Gen X or whatever it was. Okay, so it was time to go to university, he could not fund me, basically speaking. I left for University of Jos with 20 naira. I paid 8 naira then. There's a bus called J5. Yes. I got to school. My school fees was, I can't remember, it was 9 or 10 naira, whatever that was. I paid, went to the accounts, paid, and then I have a hostel. I had an uncle who reared chickens at the staff quarters. So I stayed at the BQ with the workers who reared chickens. And I spent my first semester in that chicken house. Before Benue State came with Benue State scholarship, I can't remember how much, and I got a little money to buy my first shirt. I went to school with a trouser, bought my first trouser. I could not buy the standard architectural equipment. Now listen carefully. Cyrus is right now one of the fastest thriving organizations worldwide. It's not just Nigeria, worldwide. Okay? Just give you the story of the grass, then to the grace, okay? Now, and I'm talking DIY, I'm talking to you. And I'm saying mentor yourself. Start there. And I'm also saying be a trailblazer. You don't have a mentor, you don't have any way to have access to somebody that can support you. Be the first person to start being a mentor so that you can mentor others. Be a new ground, what? Break new ground. The nation is green. Nigeria is green. Yeah. Nigeria has 923,000 square kilometers.
Yes, sir.
We haven't developed 5% of that.
Right.
I hope you know that.
Right.
So you have over 90% green land. Why are you looking for a mentor? Mentor yourself and get into that 90%. That's what I've done. I've carved a niche for myself right now. So let me go back to my story, okay? So I didn't have architectural T-squares or set squares. I couldn't buy. Because back then, if you're an architect in the 80s, a set of pen was 1,500. That looks like billions then. 15,000 naira, sorry. It was 15,000 naira to buy a set of pen. And then you needed maybe 1,500 for a T-square and a set square. My mates that came from Lagos and other parts of the country, they came to school with 20,000, 30,000 naira. I came with 20 naira, and I was part of the student team. So you know what I did? I'm telling you how to mentor yourself, because it will not be easy. It will not be easy, but you can. And I'm going to tell you how you do it. Okay, I have them written down. Now, I waited for everyone to sleep in the night, and then I was a good guy. I was a friendly person. I wasn't a troublesome person. I was already saved. Social capital. Yes, social capital. So everybody was Peter's friend, and Peter was very good though with math, English, with other courses, the non-architectural one, because I don't have the equipment. So they will sleep at night, and then I'll walk to Babajide's place. I say, JJ, please let me use your Discourse. You give it to me, go and sleep. And then I'll go to Patrick. Patrick, can I use pen 0.1? You give me. And then I'll pick between 12 and 4, I'll do my assignments. I tried doing that for a while. It wasn't easy. Then God so kind, 100 level finished. I didn't fail, but I didn't pass that well. No, it wasn't that. I was getting the C's. I was getting C's. No, it wasn't bad. Even in studio, I got D. But I went up to the next level. Now, next level was the level you did IT, isn't it? Now, when Bible says something like God helps, please take note. You have to have divine intervention. You have to. In Nigeria, where the government is not looking after you as much as they should, you have to. Okay? And you know, the divine intervention is available. Yeah. Somebody said God has done it all, right? Yeah. It's now up to us. Exactly. Now, 200 level, I went to have my IT. Cyrus. And my boss, a young architect there, architect Oliver Zido here, that's his name, Zido's consult, was just getting married. And he was going to go on the honeymoon. And I was his only IT student. And he had a project site, and it was not left to me. So I was to coordinate a very massive project for Zido's consult in Jos, because Oga Oliver is going on honeymoon. I went to site. The rest is history. Because before we finished that site, 2, 3, 4 clients, in fact, at 300 level, Architect Peter Agada had his office in Jos, practicing architecture as a student. It was illegal. I wasn't yet qualified. But I was so good with what I did that people will leave professionals and come to me and say, your cost is not as high as theirs and you have need. So I will have to go look for a senior architect who stamps my drawings, a senior engineer who signs, while I get a senior overseeing engineer to oversee me, but I'm the one building, I'm the one collecting the money. Smart guy. You have to do this thing yourself. Don't break the law. You have to do it yourself. You cannot wait for mentorship in Nigeria. Let me tell you, I have mates, I have colleagues right now. Most of us are not doing too well. The built industry is most hit. Most industries are groping because of the economic policies currently driving our nation. It's not a bad thing what the administration is doing. Take it from me. They're trying to change Nigeria from a social system to a system where the infrastructure or the programs pay for them. That's what this government is doing. And it's going to take some time before the majority gets to you. So wake up. Okay? Now, I grew like that in architecture. And then when we got to the master stages, now see where I got my break. I noticed that most students will fail, architecture students fail structures. 2 courses that make you get extra year in architecture. One is called structures because it's the calculation. Why building should not fall. The mathematics is very much and the physics. They fail in structures and they also fail in acoustics. Okay? Those were the courses I went near. I want to know why students fail in structures and why they fail in acoustics. And I took special interest because I saw the challenges as opportunity. So while my classmates will run away from class, structured classes, or they will come and just sleep through, I'm listening to Professor Gyang. They are taking a structure, I'm listening. And I had a special liking for mathematics and physics. So when we were all leaving the university, I had over 60%. You don't graduate in architecture with more than 50, 55. However, I had 60 or 62 or thereabout. It was a merit score, and structure was my highest score. Now I came out of the university straight to this building to have church one day, Family Worship Center. And I looked at the environment. I'm like, wow, this is beautiful, acoustics. And the day I came, that's why God has to help you. Pastor Ina of blessed memory was making a presentation. I need architects to help me. I'm building something like this in Wuye. All the drawings are not in congruence. Everything is scattered. I have volunteers who can come and help us put these things together. And I raised my hand and they called me. 6 months later, we were on site. I was supervising architect for the inaugural Family Worship Center in Dane. And I applied. I didn't know the acoustics well then. I went back to University of Jos to get Professor Gyang, who taught me acoustics. He came here as a consultant, taught me on the job. And then Family Worship Center was delivered, and the rest is history. It grew from grace to grace, developing the skill and the art of architecture. But I want to share some very strong principles that has come out of my process, going from what? Grass to grace. Just a few. I'll just mention them. I'll leave you to go and meditate them, especially for those who are looking left, right, center. You don't know what to do with yourself right now. Because I've seen a lot of people thrown out of 1 or 2 businesses they were doing before because of the economy we found ourselves. In fact, this is not just for young people, it's for everybody. For everybody. We can't do anything. We have our house rent spending, we have school fees to pay. We are not earning as much as we're spending. What can you do? Bandego? Can I chicken bandego? Sorry for my house now. She's my sister. By the way, Nana Kazari is the director of communications of the Obedient Movement. I hope you guys know. And I'm the director of finance of that same movement, right? And I'm also beating my chest to say that I'm the Honorable Minister, Infrastructure, Housing, Urban Development of the Shadow Cabinet of Professor Patudomi. They said we shouldn't be talking about it again. Meanwhile, we were Shadow Cabinet with them before they got to office. Sorry. Let me leave it. Okay, so grass to grace. Between grass and grace is something called process. Now, the biggest challenge with most of us that want to come out of grass into grace is the inability to endure process. There is a preacher in those days who made me laugh with a statement. He said that when you build with bricks, once you lay a block and you chalk it, it stays there, isn't it? Yeah. But the Holy Books said that we human beings are lively stones that are neatly fitted to create a building. And you said the problem with lively stones? Because a lively stone has a wheel, it has its leg, it has its brain, it has a heart. Once you fit it into a building and the thing feels pain, it will come out. So the building will keep collapsing. We are unable to stay in process. So we keep aborting process upon processes. They push you somewhere today, something is happening, something is going on, you are building something, but the pain becomes too much, the discomfort becomes too much, your will, you get out. So, process I define as right energy or pressure and the elements impact. By the element I mean wind, water, fire, air. Okay. Now the pressure of the elements. How many of us are under the elements in this room? Now let me ask. Everybody? We are all under the elements. So the impact of the elements on you now, as you are in this room now, you have pressure from water vapor in the air. Temperature, the room is cool. Once you step out now, it becomes hot. Repeated heating and cooling causes disintegration in your body. I hope you know that. The elements are acting on us 24/7, night and day. Now, when that pressure from the elements, from energies, impact on the thing, it converts the thing, it adds value to the thing, and it makes that thing more desirable or valuable. So process transforms grass to grace. So what do you need to do? Listen to this carefully. That's why I agree with, there's somebody who said, he was the chairman of the MBE. He said he totally disagrees with what will be will be. What will be will not be, sorry. You make it. So look at what you need to do. You need to wake up and activate a process, a desired process to happen. Let me tell you the answer to what Tokwe was talking about. You do not have to wait for the university whose building is dilapidating to say advertise for a contractor or somebody to come and do the correction on the buildings. You know what I did in Jos? One of the days in the University of Jos, I carried my portfolio when I had portfolio projects, and I moved around the streets of Jos. I was looking for any nice looking building that I expected some big man to be in, and I walked in there. You know what I said to them? Do you want to do an architectural drawing? Somebody will charge you 100K. I will do it for you 10K. You need to activate a process. You need to carry a mindset of delayed gratification. They don't have to pay me as it is paid for, but I will do it that way anyways. Our first major acoustic project, Jewish guys were going to do Pastor Tunde Bakare's auditorium. And I was sitting with him. All right? And I heard the phone call where these guys are trying to charge me another $140,000 for the design of his auditorium, the new auditorium. And he was complaining to his architect, a professor. And I was like, $140,000 for design of what, sir? He said for the acoustics of his new interior. I said, Pastor, you are looking for acoustic design, you didn't tell me. He said, what can you do? Go and sit down. Are you not a military? I was doing a military architecture then. And I said, sir, listen to this carefully. That was the first job that brought millions to Cyrus. The first job, because I did family worship center as a volunteer. I said, I'll design Citadel for free. Jewish guys just sent a bill of $140,000, and you here say you do it for free. I said, Pastor, I'll do it for free. He said, where have you done acoustic before? I said, call Pastor Sarah. Call Pastor Kure. Reference. And he said, are you joking or you're serious? I said, I'm serious. I will design Citadel, Oregon, Lagos, free. He said, okay, hold on. He took the phone and called Pastor Sarah. She said, Peter is a boy, was a boy, but he did it. He called his professor to come and assist him. And then he called Pastor Kure. Pastor Kure said, yes, I know him. He did my church in Kafanchan. And then he said, okay, so you can do this. I said, yes, I can do this. I said, with the condition, sir.
one condition. He said, what condition? You have come, you have deceived me. You said free. I said one condition. He said, one condition. I must be the one to implement it. That was 200 million in history. 200 million. Okay? So, process. I was too close. Sorry. Process. I said we should take ground to air using the aircraft experience. It takes a lot for an aircraft to take off the ground. You guys know that, right? And it takes quite a lot to keep that aircraft flying. What are the laws governing the flight of an aircraft? There's thermodynamics, there's pressure, there's temperature, there's combustion, there's rotation, there's hydraulics. All of these laws, when was it that those laws were imputed in the aircraft? Was it when the aircraft was on the air already? No. It was imputed in the hangar, right? It's why the aircraft is even constructed in the hangar, that they make it strong enough to fly. Am I correct? So it is when you are on the ground, when you are in the grass, that is when that which you are supposed to fly with is imputed into you. So those tough times and those difficulties you're going through right now is to enable you stay when you get to the air. Did somebody just say something here now that some people get up and they come down? Cyrus has not come down one day. Ella, am I lying? We are 30 years in the practice. She's dead. She doesn't like me saying it. And she's getting married soon. So let me round up by saying this. So what is thermodynamics, pressure, temperature, combustion, rotation? The thing that makes an aircraft flying, which you need in your life. They are one, adaptability. You must be able to adapt. I like my big brother. He's done banking. He went to... If you can't be like this, you are in trouble. If you cannot be like him, you are in trouble in the Nigeria we're in. You should be able to do what? Multitask. Yeah. Learn, unlearn, relearn. Adaptability, resilience, vision, mobility, emotional intelligence, delayed gratification, purpose-driven, empathy, protective of the vulnerable, self-knowledge, personal capacity evaluation and optimization. And finally, you must understand one word, my popular word, autophagy. Have you heard of that word before?
Yes, sir.
I will give you this paper. Don't worry. If that's too much, let me take this. You can photocopy it and give them. Autophagy is your ability to know. You know when a body is sick.
Can you spell?
Autophagy. Autophagy. It's a medical term. What happens to the human body when it is sick? When it is going through very difficult times? When it is going through very difficult times, your body has been designed by the maker of your body to know what to eliminate. You know, your body goes first for fat when you are sick. That's why when people are sick, they lose weight. The process of losing weight is the process of getting healed.
Yes.
The loss of weight is not the sickness itself, it's your body healing itself. Okay? You have to carry that principle with you to know when to not even bother expending energy or when to burn energy. It's a long talk. I can't give you details on autophagy. But autophagy teaches you how to optimize your resources. See the word I'm using. Optimize your resources per time so that you don't go off resources and so that you stay alive. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
We could do better than this outlook for African people.